Hey, we are new xTool D1 Pro owners. It's been set up for just a couple of days, and we've been trying to work the bugs out, and there've been lots of big bugs. It's been a steeper learning curve than what we thought. So one issue that I've had is the gantry not being aligned properly with the frame. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Our circles that we were engraving or trying to cut were not circular. They were a little bit oval shaped. Some of the squares were not truly square. So from what I found out, the gantry was either one way or the other in relation to the frame, and it needs to be square. So just pull the laser housing down to the front left corner and just push on it. You don't want to push over there. You just want to push here, and that should make it pretty square with the frame. It should be square right there. Then you want to look at the gap that you've got here and see how much gap you have or you don't have, and you should have just basically very, very little. And then you just want to push straight. You don't want to push to the left. And you get down to the end, and you want to see what kind of gap that you have or don't have, and it looks the same. So I just did adjust it, and before I did it, when I pushed it, the gap grew, and by the time I got to the other side, it was about 1.5 millimeters, a little bit more than 1 millimeter difference. Now 1 millimeter doesn't sound like much, but if you're working on something large and it's going from one side to the other, making its cut or making its engraving, if whatever it is, if it's a tight tolerance, it's going to be off when you get to the other side, almost a millimeter. So you don't want that. So how do you do it? Fix it. You're going to loosen that set screw. The set screw, when you tighten them both down, it basically, in effect, turns this rod. It locks it in with the stepper motor, and it all effectively, acts like one large piece. And so when the stepper motor moves and it moves this belt, that belt moves in unison. They are in lockstep with each other. There's no movement that way in the gantry. So you loosen that one up, and then I just push this to the front. I keep that in the middle, keep the laser in the middle, and then I just push in the middle. And so that should apply even pressure, and the gap should be the same on this side and that side. And then you tighten that back up. But look what happens. At least it's happening to me. Is that the set screws are on the back side. Well, how do you move it and not mess it up? So I just keep the laser in the middle of the frame, and I just push or either pull depending on what side you're standing on. And when it's in the middle, it's even pressure, and so you're not pulling one side more than the other. You're keeping the forces, pulling or pushing away. They're even in the middle, and you just pull it, there we go, until you can get your tool on it. And it's a little fidgety. I mean, there's a certain angle that it's right, and so where you have to be careful is just try not to move it too much while you're getting that. You don't want to get it out of whack while you're tightening back up, but that's how you do it. You loosen that, you get it up here, push that up, keep that in the middle, push that up, you get a good, just equal pressure in the middle so your spaces are the same. Then pull it back until you can reach those, and then you tighten that one back up, and then it's good and it's square, and you're good to go, at least as far as the gantry is in being square with the frame.